judges to record the name correctly, even if the speaker commits mistake. Okay, over to you.
Hello. Honorable Speaker Sir, shall I start?
Yes.
Greetings, Honorable Speaker Sir and this august gathering. A worthy member of the opposition clearly highlighted about multiple factions. A worthy member mentioned about the NATO, mentioned about how NATO have been made on peaceful agreements. But probably they are very much confused between the preliminary clause and the operative clause of the NATO Charter. Because the NATO's Charter to Article 1, which works on the sovereignty and peacefulity, it clearly have been derived from the UN Charter Article 2 Clause 4, which clearly resembles about sovereignty. But the Article 5 of the NATO's preambulatory clause, subclause 7, clearly highlights a very major fraction. A war on one is a war at all, which clearly understands the members of the opposition are quite unaware of the entire section which they are being speaking about. One of the worthy member of the opposition highlighted about very important concept. Highlighted about how the Gaza have been manipulated by multiple powers. But the very major important when we understand about Gaza, the Gaza Strip is a part of the Palestinian state of Palestine. And the state of Israel and the Palestinian government which have been going, there have been 7 UN resolutions which have been failed. Why it have been failed? Because there is not a multipolarity in the entire context which have been going on. But the member of the opposition also highlighted about multiple contexts how the issue of the Cold War have been highlighted. And I thank the worthy member of the opposition because the worthy member of opposition themselves have made us accept the important fact why multipolarity is important. Why multipolarity is important? Let me narrate a story. During the entire Cold War, Russia and the Soviet Union at that time, which is so-called Russia in this moment, the Soviet Union and the United States of America were going one-on-one against each other. But we can clearly understand important fraction that both of the parties or the both of the nation did not directly fought against each other in a continual context. Why? Because of the power which they wielded. And the entire scenario, this proves us the moment Russia have been contradicting or fighting against Ukraine because the Ukrainian state is quite weaker than that of the Russian Federation. Similar, when the United States of America versus the Republic of Nicaragua in 2018 have clearly highlighted about the contradiction which have been acted. Now, the International Court of Justice under the Section 60 of the UN Charter as well as the International Court of Justice Code of Conduct clearly have been highlighted that major of the context scenarios and the issues going on, the United States of America have clearly misused its power. Misuse its power under the IAC Article Section 17 and the 21 because it gives multiple issues. Even the state of Johor and the state of Malacca have seen major conflicts. Now, why is there a major conflict? Because there have been loophole into the Section 18 of IAC Charter and the Section 92 of the CSTRC Charter. Even the UN clause clearly highlight that around 200 nautical miles could be given. But on the 200 nautical miles, in the entire state, with the members of opposition who have highlighted, the Taiwan state or the Foblom state, which we know in the global context, the Foblom state, the People's Republic of China have created multiple artificial islands which have created our domination. Now, why is there a domination? That domination revolves around because the Taiwan region do not have the authority and power to conflict entire scenario. And that is a particular reason we have seen this non-multipolarity have clearly raised more issues. And of the moment there is a multipolarity, each nation having equal power, there results from which we have seen in the Cold War. And after hearing all these statements, still the members of opposition are quite adamant to their statement. It quite reminds me of a very important fact, and they're changing statements accordingly, that if a chameleon would have been present, the chameleon would have felt insecure about his abilities, as the statements of members of opposition changes faster than a chameleon even changes his color. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Thank you, August gathering.
Janamjoy Dev.
Yes, sir.
You have very steadfastly brought to the fore the issue of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Don't you think that such military collaborations which are being led by global superpowers like the United States of America threaten and undermine the sovereignty of countries like Ukraine, Mexico, and why do you think so?
I seek permission from Honorable Speaker, sir, to answer to this question. Much obliged. Now, when we look into the entire scenario, you highlighted two major countries, Ukraine and the United States of America. Now, when we look into the state of United States of America, under the NATO Charter, Article 2, Clause 4, it clearly highlights about the sovereignty of the region. Now, the moment we see sovereignty, we have to understand a very core concept of two things. One is the International Court of Justice of Nicaragua versus the United States of America, and second is the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 2265 and 2625, which clearly highlights that multiple resolutions can be passed, but the sovereignty of state can only be jurisdicted under the International Court of Justice, which comes under the Section 30 of IAC. The moment the Section 30 have not been fulfilled under IAC, it cannot be moved forward towards the International Court of Justice. And if International Court of Justice jurisdiction is not being forwarded into major context for the debate, which clearly highlights the sovereignty of the state is not being violated. And for that answer, as per the United Nations Resolution 3722, as well as the United Nations General Assembly Resolution 2256, the answer is no. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much.